That's a bummer.
We did
Big
not
bummer.
get what we wanted to
No.
get. Either way, we come on in. G. Bush, Adam the Bull, Earl the Pearl. Guardians drop game 4-2. And they send this thing back to Yankee Stadium. And with this thing tied up, this wasn't what we wanted, fellas. It's been a day of ups and downs for a lot of people. And for the Guardians, this was something, and I'm sure that everyone in that locker room or the clubhouse wanted to end this game today. They wanted to celebrate on the field. But there is one saving grace is the fact that they do have another chance to go out there and finish the job in New York. Adam the Bull, go ahead and start first. Your initial thoughts on the Guardians in this game.
Yeah, it was a disappointing game. Obviously, they lose. I really, when Naylor hits the home run to make it 3-2 in, what was it, the fifth? I can't even remember now. It was early. And, it just, he was going nuts. The crowd was going crazy. And you felt like, okay, they're gonna do this. It was 3-0. They Quantrill really bounced back after that terrible start to the game. He looked in the second inning. I had a buddy watching the game with me who's a diehard Guardians fan, and in the second inning, I said, "You got to get somebody up as soon as Bader hit the home run." I said you got to get somebody up, but Quantrill really settled down after that, and then the home run was actually in the fourth inning. Naylor hits the home run, and I'm like, all right, it's a one-run game in the fourth. We're good to go here. They're gonna do this, right? They're gonna get to the bullpen. Unfortunately, Cole really settled back in. Guardians missed an opportunity. That insurance run, even though it seems like it didn't matter because they won by 2, but I think it did in the sixth inning. It's a totally different game if you're down by 1 than if you're down by 2. And that insurance run, people complaining. First of all, I got people who know nothing about baseball tweeting at me and saying, "Oh, Francona brought in Eli Morgan and some of their second-tier pitchers because he was thinking about tomorrow." Now, you could argue whether or not he should have brought all those guys in. By the way, they pitched 4 innings and gave up 1 run and like 2 hits, so those guys all pitched well. Morgan got unlucky. It was Arias, an inexperienced first baseman, who couldn't hold the bag on the throw, and then that dunker down the line by Rizzo. I don't know what Quan was doing there. It was so weird because this team that you never questioned their hustle, but Quan kind of gave up on that play. He couldn't have gotten there, but maybe he holds it to a single. I don't know, maybe not. And then Ramirez on the one where he knocked in the first run, and then he gets thrown out going back to first. If you watch the people are telling me I'm wrong here. Go watch the replay again. Ramirez was not hustling to first base, which was stunning because that never happens. So, they just got unlucky in the 6th. Otherwise, that bullpen would have continued to be great. But if you think Francona, in the 5th inning of a 1-run game at home to clinch at home, was thinking, well, I better not use my good relievers here because I need them for tomorrow. There's no chance he was thinking that. He put those guys in because he trusts them all, and they're at home and they're down a run. Now, you could argue with the philosophy of why you did that, but it didn't matter. The Guardians couldn't score any runs from that point on, so it really didn't matter what you did or who you put in. So that was all disappointing, and I can't really criticize Francona with anything. I didn't have a problem going with it because I think all their relievers are good, and I don't have a problem with any of them. He pinch hit for Hedges at the right time. Brennan had a terrible at bat, but people are complaining about the umpiring. The umpiring was actually really good. There were a couple of bad strike calls, but the Guardians got a break on a bad call against Stanton. We got a bad call for Ramirez. But some of our key guys had bad at bats today. It was not a crisply played game by the Guardians. Rosario had a couple of bad at bats. Ramirez is swinging at some really bad pitches. All the breaking stuff. Yeah.
I think it was in the 8th.
It was a terrible, terrible at bat, and Gonzalez had a bad at bat, and what are you going to do? I really thought when Naylor hit that home run, I'm like, they're going to win this game. They're going to find a way again, and unfortunately, it didn't happen. And now you got to go back to Yankee Stadium, which you didn't want to do. Good news is your key bullpen guys are very fresh, and that's not the case for the Yankees. The bad news is, you got to either start Aaron Savali, which they're probably going to do. I know they said they were going to, or you got to start or it's going to be a bullpen game. So you don't have a great starter going. Neither do the Yankees. They're going to start Jamison Tyone, who pitched out of the pen earlier in the game 2, and the Guardians roughed him up a little bit. So I've been rambling for a bit, but I just wanted to kind of hit on everything. God, Harrison Bader makes me so angry with that stupid mouthpiece.
He's the new. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
He's the new Steph Curry.
I know, right? I mean, he's not as good as Steph Curry, but with the mouthpiece, it drives you nuts.
But he's the Yankees keep one of these dudes, man. Back in the day, it was the Chuck Knoblauchs of the world. Back in the day, I used to hate Tino Martinez. I couldn't stand them dudes, man. And he's the guy that's been killing you. He kind of booted the ball out there in center field or whatever the case may be. But he's had 3 home runs in the first 4 games. So he's a guy that's been stepping up, hitting the baseball, hitting home runs. And I was with you, Bull. When they cut it to 3-2, I thought it was going to be something that they could do. But the Yankees came back up and were able to get at the top of the 6th. They were able to go ahead and get that insurance run. And to me, it just never felt like after Naylor hit that home run, it just never felt like they got that momentum back. It was always it felt, even though it was a 2-run game, it was unlike last night. I just felt in my soul, I just didn't feel the same type of energy. I don't know if that's something, these superstition. Baseball is baseball. But, yeah, I thought they had their opportunities and didn't get it done. Earl, your initial thoughts on Game 4?
No, man. For me, I think this game is more about the Yankees than it is the Guardians. They were in control the entire game. They came out, they got an early run to give Gerrit Cole an early lead, and that was pretty much all he needed, man. He showed up and was that dominant ace that we all know him to be more often than not. He throws 110 pitches and he throws 77 strikes, so over 70% of his pitches was for strikes, and he just controlled the game. He went deep into the game, and that was key for a team that doesn't have a strong bullpen. So for him to actually be able to get deep into the game, pretty much control the narrative the entire game. I mean, this was a veteran team that showed up in a situation to where they had to have a victory, and their best player stepped up and performed.
Yeah.
Bader has been killing us this entire series. I think that's his 3rd home run this series. So as far as the Guardians go, like Bull said, it seemed like tonight there was a lot of uncharacteristic things going on. The hustle, some of the base running, some of the fielding situations. You had a rookie at first base who was inexperienced, and that ended up costing us a run. But you garnished up 2 runs off of 6 hits, and you just never really seemed like you were in the game. It never really seemed like they can get momentum. It seemed like the Yankees, man, just
I thought they had a chance. Generally I agree with what you're saying. I did think they had momentum after the Naylor homer. But then, as you said, Cole just shut it down and did great after that. And so the Naylor home run leads off the bottom of the 4th to make it 3-2. Leads off. So the Guardians at that point still had 6 full innings to score a run or 2, and they had 2 base runners the rest of the game. They had the Jimenez single that he gets the second on the Bader botch, and then the Quan walk in the 8th inning. That was it. Those were the only 2 base runners after they could not get anything going. You just couldn't get the crowd was so hot after that home run. By the way, at some point, not in the playoffs probably, but at some point, Naylor's going to wear one from Gerrit Cole in the future, next year, whatever it is.
You better believe he will.
He's going to wear one. Now, I don't like that. I'm not in favor of those stupid rules, and I love when players celebrate and they can do whatever the hell they want. But he's grabbing it. I know it's supposed to be a baby rocking, but it looks like he's grabbing
no baby rocking. Boy,
it looks like it's the Serrano big balls, and he's staring right at a Cole, which I'm fine with. But that's gonna lead to a fight at some point. Not in the series.
Do you think that is retribution from Cabrera the other day? I mean, he had one hell of a bat flip.
Yeah, they did it, and then what? You guys probably know the answer because I feel like whenever there's some cool young reference that has something to do with rap music, and I know you guys listen to rap and I don't. Mm-hmm. So what is this thing? A lot of football players do it, and I saw Bader do it when they go like this. What is that?
Actually, so
is that a rap thing or no?
I really don't know what that.
Oh, you don't know?
Actually, to be truthful, a lot of people do that. But that's like
I thought it was some sort of rap reference.
That's actually a gang symbol. Like,
oh, really?
Like they don't even know it. Like,
oh my god.
If you think about it, there's a guy named Young Thug, right? YSL and there's YFN. Like, this is, and they say slat and slime and all that. This is like that's actually a gang symbol that has gotten into pop culture, and it's just and when white people pick it up, it just goes in. It goes.
There it goes. But you see a lot of players in the NFL do it too.
Oh yeah, like
you know,
the NFL is always a little late on it. Like the people that do that are sitting in jail for RICO cases at this point.
Man, G's always got the 411 on everything.
No, he's right about that.
255 people in there, man. I'll tell you what, 255. I want to appreciate y'all for pulling up. I mean, it's been a long day. 10:21. Let's get to some of the comments out here.
My nephew, who's a big Yankees fan, he's 13 years old and should probably be sleeping because he's got school tomorrow, is watching right now, by the way.
Oh, shout out to him. What's his name?
My nephew, Ian Lasardo. Shout out to him. He was a little bummed after yesterday, obviously, and he's the only Yankee fan I love.
Well, Shane, somebody is in here showing you love.
And
says, go ahead.
and his father, but that's it. But he's a bigger diehard fan than his dad.
Shane, thank you for the super chat. I can't stand the Francona slander, Bull. I don't think their relievers gave up an earned run with that error. So
no, it wasn't an error. The play, it was just it's just an inexperienced first baseman, as Earl said before. Right. Arias was not able to keep the base. The play Arias did make. Well, they ruled an error on Rosario earlier, but that really should have been an error on Arias. I think they should change that in the official scoring. That's the one where you could tell Arias is inexperienced at first base because he backs off the base to try to field that one hopper from Rosario. Any experienced first baseman's not going back on the base on that. They're going forward. You know, if that had been Rizzo, he's going forward and he's scooping that on an earlier hop. You can't wait for it to come to you back like that. So.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the run. That play wasn't where they scored the run. The play they scored the run was when it was the diving stop by Jimenez. He made the throw and he pulled Arias off the bag. But if it had been an experienced first baseman, they would have gotten the out. Unless I'm wrong about that, I'll double check. No, it was an earned run, I don't think they scored on the one where Rosario made the error. Again, I don't think it should have been an error of Rosario. They didn't score after that.
No, they didn't score after that. You got it right, boy.
Yeah.
That was an earned run that they scored. Like I said, I looked at this game and I felt like I said, the Yankees got a game that they needed to get. But looking forward, they didn't throw Gerrit Cole at us. We all know they don't have a strong bullpen.
Yeah.
And it just seems like, people might argue Tito pitched the secondary guys. I don't think Tito has a problem pitching the guys that he trusts.
He trusts them all. Now, again, that's a fair debate, I think, if you want to. I mean, I think it's fair to question, but they didn't lose the game because of those guys. Again,
no, exactly.
Those guys all pitched well. Morgan got unlucky, as we've just talked about. They still combined to go 4 innings. They gave up 2 hits, no walks, 1 run, and 7 strikeouts. So those guys all pitched well. I mean, you just got an unlucky not able to keep his foot, and then an unlucky. Even Rizzo didn't think it was going to be fair. He didn't even run to first.
Yeah, how I see it not to cut you off, G, but how I see it for tomorrow. With Cole going tonight, 110 pitches. Yeah, he might have took something off his bullpen, but their bullpen is not as strong as ours. And some of our strongest guys didn't throw tonight. So, I don't know if they'll go with Savale. I will say this: I was at the regular season finale. Savale pitched pretty solid.
He has pitched, and he's going to start. But I'll tell you, I'd be shocked if he goes more than 3 innings.
Yeah,
it's going to be him and Tyone to start. I'd be surprised if either one went more than three innings. There's no way they'll let Savale face Judge twice. I would bet that he faces 10 batters max. And maybe I'll be wrong. If he's dominating, let's say he's lights out through those 10 batters, maybe they'll change. But I'll be surprised if he faces Judge a second time. But the bullpen's fresh, guys. Not only, Savale pitched a ton in Game 2, but that's, Clase pitched a ton in Game 2, but that's the only game he's pitched in this series. Yeah. So he's going to be in great shape. Karinchak only pitched a 1 inning, not even an inning in Game 2. He was a little shaky in that inning. So all their good bullpenners their best guys did not pitch today. So Francona didn't purposely save them early. By the time you got to the ninth and it was Plesac, he's not going to put one of his best guys at that point.
But guys, even if he did save him,
wouldn't have mattered.
It would, like, think about it. If you got the pulse of the team, if you down and he felt like I felt like, okay, this 2 runs is a different type of 2 runs. Like we haven't been putting good meat on the bat on the ball. Yesterday we had 15 hits. Today, not so much. If he comes in and just says, look, I'm gonna throw my guys here. I still got faith in them. They may give up a run or so, but you want your best people going in an elimination game. I wouldn't have a problem if he said it.
No, but it wasn't. I'm telling you, it's not for that reason. He didn't do that. It was a 1-run game at home in the 6th inning, and not purposely not putting in those guys. He's just confident in all these guys because they were losing. He's like, I'm going to trust these guys earlier in case this goes long, but he's not saying it. He wasn't punting the game for tomorrow when they had a chance to win at home, down only 1 run in the 5th.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, no. This guy, Albert tweets, sends a message. Was it called safe because the foot was off the bag or that he beat the throw? No. Safe. I guess if you were at the game, the fans were booing. Remember when they called and they overturned it? And Costas is right. They should explain it, but he called in because they didn't say it at the ballpark because he was clearly safe. Safe. The foot was off the bag.
And the first base ref says, "Hey, he moved his hands and it said we got moved off the bag." So that was his original call. I think people thought his call was he beat it out.
Right. No,
that wasn't the case.
No, and the base umpires did a great job. They were every close call they were right about.
That was right.
And whoever was advising Terry, you know how the bench coach DeMarlo Hale goes on the phone and he's like then he tells Francona based on some word he's getting up in the booth. I assume. They blew both of those. They had no chance. Those were not even close. They wasted those challenges. It didn't matter, I guess. But
y'all didn't know that was Kevin Stefanski giving him advice. He was Stefanski was telling Tito, "Hey, I got it, bro." He pulled him off the bag.
Yeah, man.
No. Hey, Jeff, Sandy Alomar Jr.'s belt. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for sticking with us all day. It's good to have someone to share the disappointment with.
Yeah, bummer day.
I mean, it was a rough one. As you could tell, I think our voices are on the 2. I mean, I done had yelling, screaming, happiness, sad, cry, all at the same time. So we want to thank you for that. Appreciate the super chat. We got a couple more up here we'll get to.
Yeah. And by the way, listen, in the end, if they win tomorrow, tonight doesn't matter. And you got the bullpen edge. I know that, listen, the game's in Yankee Stadium. That's advantaged them. Their fans are going to have new life. They're going to be rocking and rolling there. It's not going to be easy. We all know this. But I believe in this team. I think they can get it done. When the series started, I said the Guardians would lose game 1, win 2 and 3, lose 4 and win 5. So far, I'm 4 for 4. So hopefully I'll be 5 for 5.
Because I said the Guardians would win in 5 too.
Yeah, me too. So it's not going to be easy. I mean, we're going to be sweating it out all night, but hopefully they can get it done.
I mean, I feel like I survived. We've survived their best shot. If you're telling me we can win this series, and the only games that we lost this series was to Gerrit Cole, I'll take that. I'll take that. And even in those games, we still had an opportunity to win. So I still feel confident in this team. I still feel confident in our chances to come away victorious and be playing in Houston on Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to read that super chat?
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, you got it.
DC says. Kept it within 2 runs. Was hoping they could work that late inning magic again. Bullpen, please, still game 5 for the effing junkies. Cleveland rocks, man. We appreciate you, man.
We got a message from Caden J. Says, can we really beat them in New York? Yeah, why not? They beat them in game 2. Why can't they beat them in game 5? They're not. Listen, this Yankee team is good. I'm not trying to tell you they're not a good team. They're a very good team. They won a lot of games. But they're not that. I think the Guardians and Yankees are evenly matched. The Yankees have a big home power advantage, but the Guardians are better at getting on base. They're better in the bullpen. Both teams got good rotations. But come on, the Yankees' bottom of their lineup is not that great either. They got some holes. Their catchers aren't great hitters, better than our catchers, but still. They had to bench their shortstop because he couldn't make a play in the field and he can't hit.
I agree. Yes, you could beat them. I mean, it's a 2-2 series. The game is madly even right at this point. The only thing that you're gonna have to do, I would rather the Guardians get out to a quicker lead or a quicker start.
Sure.
But if you watch the Guardians all year, they're second half of the game type team. They really get their bats going 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th innings. Like they're not really a team that jumps out ahead or whatever. I just think they have to make sure that tomorrow you don't let things like 3-1 home runs like in one inning hit you. You got to make sure that if you're going to make the Yankees hit home runs, they got to be solo home runs because that'll kill you. And it takes too much to come back, especially on the road, if you need to dig yourself out of the hole.
I think Bull hit on something. This team can be beat. And like you said, the bottom of their lineup is really not as strong either. Hitters 6 through 9 for the Yankees tonight had 1 hit collectively. Hitters 6 through 9 for the Guardians had 0 hits. So you're looking at the similar situation here. All we have to do is just get on base and do what we do and manufacture some runs. And like you said, G, keep the home runs to a minimum. If you're going to give them up, at least let them be single shots, but solo shots. But I'll say this, this was one of those situations to where they got the early lead and Cole was just dominant, all game long. And so for us tomorrow, I think we're going to try to have to, somehow, some way get that early lead. And then as Bull said, play a bullpen game. I don't expect Savale to hit, maybe face more than 10 to 12 batters. But if you can get that lead and you got that bullpen advantage, we should be okay. But the thing is, man, we got to try to play from ahead tomorrow.
Yep. You got to give Cole credit, as you say. You're right, Earl. He was dominant. I mean, you think about it. Cole had 18 swinging strikes. Mm-hmm. That's a lot against this lineup. The Guardians don't swing and miss very often. But everything he threw off speed,
sinker.
It was just nasty. Everything. And they were swinging and missing over pitches that were diving off the plate. A lot. He had them fooled. He had them a little anxious, maybe, a couple guys. But he certainly was fooling them. It was a dominant performance. But Tyone, who's going to go tomorrow, is not as good a pitcher. And they're going to have to use a lot of both teams are going to have to get a lot of innings from their bullpen. And that's even in Yankee Stadium, that's a huge advantage for the Guardians, especially because their best reliever, what's his name? Holmes, who pitched an inning today. He hasn't pitched 2 days in a row in a while. Now, it's the last game of the series. I'm sure they'll be willing to go to him, but he's been shaky the second half of the year, and he hasn't pitched 2 games in a row in a while. So that's the thing. Wandy Peralta's thrown a ton of pitches the last 2 days. I know he didn't only pitch 7 pitches today, but he pitched a lot of pitches yesterday. And again, Clase hasn't pitched for two days. Karinchak hasn't pitched for 2 days. The Guardians' bullpen is better, deeper, and fresher heading into this final game. So that's an advantage. In the end, though, you got to be able to score more than 2 runs to win.
We'll throw the chat question out to you guys. How many runs do you think the Guardians need to score to win the game in Game 5? How many runs do you think they need in Game 5? What will you be comfortable with to say that they're going to win the game if they score X amount of runs? Go ahead and throw that in the chat. Just you can make it numerical. We'll read those off. But before we get to you guys, we'll go to you with the same question. Earl, your thoughts? How many runs are you comfortable with to get a Guardians win on the road?
I need 4. I need at least 4. I think that 4 runs should be enough. I understand that the Yankees can hit that long ball and this, that, and the third, but it's been a lot of solo shots. It's been a couple, 2-run home runs. I just feel like for some odd reason we can minimize that, and if we can do the things that we do, get on base, run the bases correctly, take advantage of when we have runners in scoring position, and then come out there and actually, win a pitching matchup with the starters and definitely with the bullpen. I think 4 would be enough. I think anything less than that, man, is pushing it, and it might be 5 or 6, but I'm comfortable around 4, definitely. 2 runs is not going to cut it.
Yeah, no, you got to score at least 4. I think they're going to win 5-4 tomorrow. And it's silly to predict a baseball game, but that's just that's half hope and half some
Why
gut
not?
feeling
Wish.
that they can win 5-4.
Why
Wish,
not?
hope, whatever it is. By the way, on an unrelated note, guys, I put out, because I was so antsy watching this game. At one point, I put out the top 8 things that have been that people find annoying, as I've been tweeting the last couple of days, or that I find annoying, and I'll get your takes on this. I don't know if you've registered all these, but here we go. In no order, even though I did number them. Pete Davidson in the Taco Bell commercials.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Have you seen the Matthew Stafford commercials when he's doing Little Caesars?
Yep.
Yeah.
That woman that yells at him,
Yeah.
that weird looking woman, I find her very annoying. Harrison Bader's mouthpiece, a lot of people finding that annoying. Me on Twitter, a lot of people finding me annoying on Twitter because I'm cursing at people and calling people dopes. I said people have no taste if they think Dairy Queen burgers are good. Anyway.
They don't even sell burgers. I don't even know where the Dairy Queen sell burgers.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't know anybody bought hot food from Dairy Queen. Apparently, their chicken tenders are good. I mean, there's a million places I can get chicken tenders. I'm going to go to Dairy Queen for chicken tenders. That seems like bad. People are going to get mad at me now. Number 5. Either of you guys have DirecTV?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have
I only got streaming.
Okay, but on DirecTV, almost every commercial break, they show this stupid commercial for DirecTV where it's like the housewives of one of those housewives shows on the football field. Have you seen that?
With the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that drives me crazy, that commercial. I can't stand it. Those women are very annoying. I don't even know who they are. Number 6, Bob Costas. People are finding him annoying. Even though Costas is actually really good, and he's fine, but people find him annoying.
Well, here's the thing, Bull. One thing that I've been annoyed with, I've heard him say 5 times.
Yeah,
it's like, they needed to go a new version of a complete game, 7 innings. Now you do know that's quite normal, or quite rare now, but it was quite normal back in the day. And I'm like, you've said that 10 times, dog.
I know. He still thinks it's 1986 when he's calling these games. I don't know. Number 7, Matt Carpenter's mustache, or Nestor Cortez's mustache, both annoying.
I don't like them Tom Selleck mustaches.
No, it's not appropriate in 2022. Not that I'm a fashionista at all. And finally, the people, including Jay Crawford, who I said kid to sit. I meant to say get to sit on the field away from the common folk. Like, that's obnoxious to be sitting in those seats. Those people are obnoxious.
Them seats down there, bro. Like, them is like. Them is like they at one point in time had indentured servants, like they own plots of land, and they just down there like we really ain't make them work the land. We just so that we're just feudal serfs, right? You know, they don't treat them too bad. Just give them $2 an hour.
I mean, and when I see kids in those seats, I want to like smack those kids. I would never smack a kid, but don't you want to smack those kids?
They just down there running around,
and they're probably falling asleep, not even paying attention to those games. Those little dopes
eating gummy bears and chicken tenders that cost way too much money.
Hey man, y'all behave, man. Listen, man, we got 276 people in here with us.
Our numbers are not as big as yesterday for the win.
No,
not as many people,
but y'all are still here with us, man. And I know for you all, it's been a long day with the Browns, a long day with the Guardians.
Yep.
We appreciate you all being here. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and go get you one of these, man.
Yeah,
I got one of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show t-shirts on. It's definitely a link on our webpage, man. Go get you one. Go get both of them. Why not?
I'm with a lot of people that's in the chat. I think the Guardians need 6 runs. They need 6. They're gonna need 6, dog, because I think the Yankees is good for some home runs in a couple of
especially in their ballpark. They're dangerous.
And then, the Yankee Stadium is like low-key 285 down the line.
That's right.
you ain't got to put a charge into it.
And even though the Guardians lost, I'm still going to do this. Let me get some bulls for F the Yankees. F the Yankees. F the Yankees. F the Yankees. I don't know. John tweets, I got to read you this one, guys. John tweets, how do we give up 3 homers to Harrison Duscher? He had 5 homers all year. Bleep.
It's the playoffs now. Baseball players can get hot. And that's just what it is, man. It happens a lot, man. Let's talk about this. Confidence level going into Game 5. A lot of people I talk to, scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in Game 5? A lot of people said, I'm not going to be very confident if they don't close it out today. Is this going to be a situation where you look at it and say, we had our opportunity to close them out at home, we didn't do it, and they just couldn't get it done on the road?
No, my confident level is a 10. 10 out of 10, or 9.5, maybe. I don't want to get too carried away. Not, you know what? 9.75. This team, every time you count them out, they stick it back in your face. So you folks that want to count out the Guardians because they lost this game, well, count them out at your own peril.
My confidence is on a 10. I'm with Bull. I still feel like they can win this game, ultimately win this series, based on the same principles I've been preaching the last couple post-game shows that we had. At the end of the day, the Yankees are the team between the two that's expected to win this series. So to me, even though we lost and we have to go to Yankee Stadium, we're playing with house money. We got a bunch of young guys who, they don't know what they don't know. And I know that's becoming like really redundant in me saying that, but it's the truth. The Yankees are expected to win this series. At the end of the day, all the pressure is still on New York. You know what I mean? So to me, all we have to do is just go out there, play loose, play free, put some runs on the board, and let our bullpen, who's one of the top staples of this team, just take us on to the next series. I think everything will be fine. This was not going to be easy. Bull, G, you all said this, when the series started, that you thought it was going 5. Mm-hmm. So technically, we're right on pace on how most people thought it would go. Everybody need to relax. Yeah, it would have been nice to kind of get it over with tonight, especially seeing the debacle that happened on the lake earlier today, but it didn't happen. So just gear up, get on the plane, go to New York, get ready for tomorrow night, kick their ass, go on to Houston. It's that simple.
And we'll be back on with you tomorrow. The game's at 7:37 in the Bronx, and
we got another one.
I don't know. What about you? What about you, G? Are you feeling confident, or are you less confident than we are?
I mean, I don't do no 10s. 10s mean the game is already over and you won. 9 is extremely high for me. I'll say 8.5. I'll say 8.5.
That's good.
Good. It's not as if I'm not confident that they can go in there and win. What I need to see though is I need to see some runs. If I'm confident if we get 6 runs, that means I could give up two run home runs, right? And a solo, and I can still win this joint, right? So I just think they need a bit of a buffer. And I think if you can get the Yankees down, now you're at home, and it's tough when you get mowed down at home because you can start to hear a pin drop. You start to press at the plate a little bit more. Sometimes I really think that on the road, I've always thought that just playing baseball in high school, I always hit better. And I didn't press as much when I wasn't at home. I mean, because it's just like you going in enemy territory. You already think in the back of your mind, people don't think you're going to win. And so you just relax a little bit more. Pressure is on the people that are standing up and clapping after every pitch because they want to get out and get to a nice lead. If you can just minimalize some of the damage that you can get, I got faith that they can win Game 5. So to me, it's already it has been a great series. It's already been a great playoffs for the Guardians,
right?
And so they don't have anything to be ashamed about or going into. I think Tito's telling them that right now, guys. We go in and play our game regardless. I do think he'll say we've had some uncharacteristic stuff happen in terms of our fielding, in terms of the way we run the base paths. And I think he might tweak that a little bit. I think he might tell the guys that they need to get that together. But overall, I still got faith in them that they can win this game.
And by the way, guys, let me clarify. The game tomorrow is at 7:07 and not 7:37. I think the original time was going to be 7:37, but because it's the only game tomorrow, it's at 7:07 is the start time.
Hey, boy, talk to me about something real quick. So you already said you don't expect Savale to go past the 3rd inning.
No.
And then based on how the pitching was coming out the bullpen today, how do you foresee that rotation being tomorrow?
Well, that's a good question. If you look at it, so everybody's, I guess it depends where they are in the lineup when Savali comes out of the game. But I think tomorrow we will see all of the guys. We'll see Karinchak, Clase, Stefan, Henches, and De Los Santos. I would think all 5 of those guys are likely to pitch tomorrow because, like I said, I think second, third inning he's out, and then it depends where you're in the lineup, which guy you use. But I would think the first guy out of the pen will probably either be Henches or Stefan in the third, maybe even the second, or the latest the fourth inning, depending on who's coming up. With Henches being a lefty and Stefan being a righty, I would expect to see them. I would expect to see maybe 3 innings between those two guys. So in theory, if you can get Savali for 3, those guys for 3, and then you bring in Karinchak in the 7th, and then Karinchak and Clase get you 7, 8, 9, 3 innings between those guys. Maybe even 4 if you need to go to extra innings, and then I think De Los Santos would be the next guy after that. We'll see how it goes, but that would probably be what I expect. Henches or Stefan, both pitch middle innings into Karinchak into Clase. If it's going well, that's how it'll go. Most likely.
Yeah.
Joshua,
that's what I expect.
Appreciate the super chat. We appreciate everybody that super chat. Guys, we're not gonna do too much on this one. We'll be back next. We're gonna be back tomorrow.
Back to tomorrow night.
So back to tomorrow night. Make sure you log in. Make sure you get ready to go. Hey, we need to all sleep this one off. We need to get in bed.
I see my brother-in-law in the chat saying "Let's go Yanks," except he spelled it "Let's go Yanisk." Come on.
Yeah, we tell your brother.
Come on, my brother-in-law is out of control there. What is he doing?
Hey, that's a bad job out of you.
He also told me my sister's apparently at what did he say here? Where's my sister? She's at I thought he texted me that she's at BravoCon or something. I don't know what the hell he texted me here.
They've put the pandas in there. Thank you, Dave. I didn't know I had an emoji.
Yeah, let's get some pandas.
I didn't know the people G. Bush had emojis. Now I could call for my emojis. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder if they got a pearl emoji in there.
I know they got a crystal ball.
BravoCon.
I'm pretty sure they got a pearl somewhere. Hey, yo, April said she'll see us in the morning. Hopefully we'll be talking about Joe Wood being canned. I can tell you this.
I feel like we've been on the air nonstop since 11 a.m. Friday. I feel like I've not gotten off the air pretty much.
Telethon, dog.
I've definitely had a conversation already with the production team, and you better believe hot seat and fired are words of the day tomorrow. So.
Hey.
Oh yeah, plus I want a new starting quarterback for the Browns. That'll be controversial too.
Yeah, we gonna get to all of that. Make sure you check out the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show tomorrow, starting bright and early at 11 a.m. We'll go to 1 o'clock. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Anybody new? I think we picked up some new Guardians fans, so we'll be back, continue to do this. We'll be back at 7 or ish. 7-ish tomorrow. We'll be watching the game, but obviously after the game, we'll get right to it. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and sign on out of here for Adam the Bull and for Earl.
See everybody.
We'll have a good night.
We'll see you in the morning.
Buenos noches.
Game 4, but we're going to get game 5.
They're going to get it tomorrow. 5-4 in the Bronx.